Okay, so let's talk about Digimon real quick. And I'm going to pull off my memories as a kid because I have not watched Digimon since I was like 21 years old. And that was the sub. And although it was the superior version for reasons, obvious reasons, it's the sub. It has more plot. Not a lot of it has been cut out by the dub. But the dub is amazing, not just because of nostalgia, but because of all the stuff they would cut out and rewrite. And you would just get scenes where people are just like, the way they just call out the weird editing and the weird cuts, and they'll be like, oh, what's that over there? And then someone will be like, I don't know, I'm gonna go have a sandwich or something. And that's like legit the dialogue they would just go with. Just fill it with anything, say anything, just fill this spot. We don't need silence here. And it's just full of all these weird cuts and just great moments. I really want to go back and watch it, but I'm currently in the middle of watching the new season, so I want to finish that, and maybe I'll talk about the newer season, and then one day, eventually, go back and check out the old season. But let's pull vaguely from my mind what I remember. So I was obsessed with Tai as a kid, favorite character, main protagonist, obviously, you know, he's most kids' favorite, but out of the kids, yes, definitely Tai. I really didn't like Agumon. Agumon's voice just in the dub is just god-awful, grains on your ears. And I didn't like Agumon, but he was fine when he digivolved. Oh god, the digivolving. Just 2 minutes where they would digivolve, and then like they'd digivolve again, and then in later season they would finally cut it to where it'd be like 6 Digimon digivolving at the same time instead of just like 1, 2, 3, like one after. Oh god. PTSD. Padding and Digimon was real. So you go to the kitchen, get a little snack, and then come back, and then you just watch them get their ass beat again, because you know they went to champion instead of going to ultimate when they know they're fighting an ultimate. Like, nah, we can beat this as a champion, right? So then they're like, no, we're losing again, we gotta digivolve again. So then you're like, oh god, here we go again. And then you go through, you go to the bathroom, maybe get a drink, something to wash that snack down with, you know, and then you come back, and then they may or may not be done. But you just hope that they're done. And then later on, they'll decide that, oh, hey, we're still losing. And then they just go to Mega. And this is, oh my god. Anyway, you sit through all the Digivolutions. And eventually they did split screen them so that, like, they would all do it at the same time instead of having to sit through 20 minutes of panic. But as a kid, you don't really notice that. And I think as a kid, I would just get distracted. I was probably half watching anyway and just, oh look, something shiny in the corner, oh look, they're done. Stuff like that. And you do pay attention. I was at the age where I could follow the plot and pay attention, but the digivolving didn't really bother me as much. I did find it kind of cool as a kid watching the digivolve. Kind of tired of it towards the end of the episode. And also this is a time before binge watching too, so you would have a week between episodes, so it wouldn't feel as monotonous sitting through all the Digivolution scenes. So you know, each week it was a little annoying, but it wasn't as bad as if you were going to sit on Netflix and binge everything and just watch Digivolving every 30 seconds, which they do seem to fix in the newer season, thank god, because they are aware that streaming is a thing now, and it was monotonous, and yes, it needed to be fixed, and thankfully they went ahead and did that. What else sticks in my mind about Digimons? Myotismon, he looks kind of weird, like Myotismon. I remember finding him kind of intimidating as a kid, but not really. I just kind of look at his mask and think that he looked like a bootleg Batman or something. Like, he was scary, but he wasn't that scary, and then he just digivolved into a slightly more buff vampire man, and then there was an awkward moment with his buff ass cheeks on screen, and we're like, no, we don't know. This is making me feel awkward. Please just defeat this ugly ass vampire thing. This is my child brain, by the way. Well, probably my brain in this day and age too. I don't know. Haven't watched it recently. But I just remember him turning into the giant buff vampire because bigger means more powerful, apparently, in these kind of anime. Also, while we're talking about Digimon digivolving as they do, you know how you got like Gatomon? She's like this cute little cat thing, and then the creator's like, you know what we don't have enough of in this anime that we need? Big the angel women. Okay, we need more of those. So this little cat thing is gonna turn into a big angel woman. I'm surprised. I know she made it past the censors because she was covered, but they must have been debating on that for a while because this was a transition into anime. You know, all the little kids out there were watching it going, oh my god, what have I been missing out on all my life? I see people talking about Digimon in reviews, and they'll bring up Angel Woman, so I know this was fact, especially for the males watching the show. They would just be, Angel Woman, yet she sells them figures for like $200 plus. Okay, I've seen, oh god, I feel sorry for female characters in anime and some of the figures that get made. We're not gonna go into that. Oh god. Y'all need to seek out the higher powers in your life and cleanse your souls. That's all I'm going to say. You got Angel Woman in there, and then Angemon. Like, Angemon I could get on board with. He was like, he showed up in, like, early on in the season. It was a little weird to see this little bat thing turn into a man. I thought that was kind of weird as a kid, especially the other ones, because you got like Agumon, who just turns in from like basic dinosaur into slightly bigger dinosaur into a dinosaur that like rocks metal, and then he evolves into fully kitted out man dinosaur on 2 legs. And that seems to be the thing with Digimon, is they turn into humanoids. But as a kid I wasn't really used to that, you know, coming off Pokemon where they're just like little animal things, and then you got like the other ones who look like animals and they tend to stay with their animal state. You got Patamon and Gatomon just like, yeah, we're not doing that, we're just going straight into the humanoids over here. And then they digivolve again, and Angemon gets like all the wings, and Gatomon turns back into this cat dragon thing. Like, I get that it's like folklore and there's meaning behind it, but how are you gonna go from a cat to an angel to a dragon thing? Just the logic behind Digimon. Sometimes they just do that thing, okay? If you're gonna start out as a bunny, your evolution line needs to finish out as a bunny, even if you're a man with bazookas, okay? That's just how it goes. But you know what? They needed to get those views, and they knew how to get them. Gatomon was just unfortunate enough to be the 8th Digimon, and they had time to realize their mistake and fix it when they were ready to air that last part of the season. Because Gatomon doesn't come in until like halfway through, I don't think. They had this whole arc, I remember vaguely, where they're fighting Dark Devimon. I mean, the names usually just started with Dark, and it was like Devimon, I think, was the first one where Angemon, like, spoiler alert, dies, but he doesn't. He comes back as a Digi-Egg because it's Digimon. But anyway, and they're fighting him, and then Tai ends up going back to the real world. Dude, Kari is weird. Like, everybody loves Kari, and she's so weird. Like, it's probably why they like her. And she's air quote cute, and you know, she has Angel Lady as a Digimon. Like, okay. But oh my gosh, she's creepy. Like, people do the whole thing with Kari and Tai. No! Stop. Just stop. They're siblings. No. Not okay. It's just like, she is weirdly attached to her brother, and I kind of get it, but it's because she's like a little kid and it makes sense. But then as she gets older, it doesn't go away. Like, especially in one of the newer movies, I think Tai is like a straight adult and Kari's like clinging to him the whole time. It's like, what are you doing? He's old now. Just stop being that weird little sister who's like weirdly obsessed with your brother, please. Other than that, actually, no. I remember as a kid I found Kari really annoying because she was, as a kid, okay, kid point of view. And when I watched it older, I didn't mind her as much, but as a kid I just found her really annoying because she would just cry and whine, and then Tai would just give in and like just, she was kind of, you have to admit, when she first joined she was kind of obnoxious. Like, TK cried a lot, but he was like, I get it, they were like 7 in this world of Digimon killing each other. TK cried a lot. He was kind of obnoxious, but Kari just had this other different kind of crying, and Tai just was just completely obsessed with watching her all the time, which makes sense as the older brother. Oh god, that takes me back to that one episode where Tai is feeling bad because Kari was sick one day, and he really wanted to go play soccer, but he wasn't allowed to go play because he had to watch his sick sister. Okay, so Tai really wants to go play soccer, as they call it in America. Football. Tai wants to go play soccer, and he can't go play soccer because Kari's sick and their mom is irresponsible. Tai is like 7 years old. I don't know exactly, but he's too young to be watching his baby sister who is sick and clearly is borderline going to hospital because of her fever. But hey, you know what? Mom's like, yo, I'm gonna be the irresponsible parent and leave Tai to take care of his sister. So Tai is like a kid. He's like, yo, I want to go play soccer. He doesn't understand the gravity of the situation. So he takes Kari out to go play soccer. And of course, Kari faints and almost dies. And then Tai gets hit in the face and yelled at for taking his sister out the house when she was sick. And he feels bad about this forever because he almost killed his sister. Dude, parents straight smacked their child because they left a small child alone with a sick child to take care of them and expected this child to understand how sicknesses work and how she could have died. Like, oh, that even annoyed me as a kid. I remember seeing that and I'm just like, yo, that's messed up. And I just remember seeing that as a kid and being like, yo, that's messed up. But Tai was made out to be the bad guy, and everybody hated on Tai for that episode. And they're like, oh, you shouldn't have done that. You suck. I'm just like, what? What? He was like 7. How would he know? He's just like, I want to go play soccer. Like, I get that he was told, but the parents are irresponsible. He gets smacked in the face, and everybody hates him for it. Oh my god, like, don't get me started on Tai's parents, because honestly, their parenting, the mom, the cooking, not being able to cook, was a joke, but she relied way too much on Tai to watch his sister, and he's just like, he's a kid. Take care of your own kid. You're irresponsible parenting rage. But anyway, that's why that episode annoyed me so much. Not that Kari was sick, but because Tai had been living with this and beating himself up about something that really was not his fault. He was too young to understand, and it could have ended tragically, but he just took the blame for no real reason. And that episode just always stuck with me, and I low-key probably disliked Kari in her younger episodes because of that, and then everything from that just seems to be Tai's fault when it comes to Kari. Like, Kari will do something and it will just be Tai's fault for whatever the hell Kari did. I'm like, why? Stop enabling this child. That's vaguely my reason why I was not a huge Kari fan, and the fact that she had this weird attachment to her brother. It was cute when they were younger, but then as they got older, it was just weird, and it made me uncomfortable, quite honestly. And yeah, that was my opinion on Kari. Everybody loves Matt. He's your brooding character, Shadow the Hedgehog character, so, you know, he automatically gets fans. Matt wasn't that bad. He went through a whole little arc where the parents were separated and he couldn't live with his brother, and he had a reason to be kind of a jerk, and in the end he does fix it. He goes on his like thing where I'm just going to abandon my little brother and go off on my own because I don't need no group of people. I'm okay by myself. And then, you know, they have to go find him as he cries in his corner, and I get it, he's also a child, but it was predictable. Even as a kid, I'm just kind of watching it. Apparently likes to sing, and for some reason at the end of the first season becomes an astronaut. Never really explained. Like, at the end of the series, he goes from being this guy who wanted to be a rocker and not really having any direction in life to being an astronaut. Now, meanwhile, Joe is over here studying like crazy to be a doctor, and Matt's just like, I don't really have any like schooling or amazing grades. I'm not super smart. I'm gonna be an astronaut. And you know what? He just becomes an astronaut. Out of all the kids' final jobs, Matt's is just like, okay, sure. Did you just pick astronaut because it would seem cool to kids? And that was a thing that I was never really aware of with Sora and Tai and Matt, is everybody was always mad because Sora gravitated towards Tai, and everyone wants Matt and Sora to get together, and I can't remember if they do in the end, but honestly, the relationships didn't really bother me. Sora was okay, but at the end of the day, she was just like not Mimi. So it was like, we have to have some kind of romance going on. And Mimi is like a crybaby at the start, and she's younger. Sora is more their age, so girl. Also, it wasn't even really a thing, the whole relationship. And then just in later seasons, they just kind of shelved it in there, like, oh yeah, like especially with the movie, like, oh yeah, there was this whole relationship thing going on the whole time. You didn't notice? Like, no, they were just hanging out together, and you just needed a relationship, like you needed an Woman. Pile it on in there. So that happened. I feel like I've talked about Digimon enough, and there's so much that I could just go on forever. So who knows if I'll cover Digimon again, but I think I'm going to end it here before I make a 3-hour long video just talking about my memories of Digimon. If you want to see more, let me know in the comments, and I'll look to making more, pulling these out of my mind and talking about the newer series in future and my opinions on the movies if you guys would like to see that. So leave a like, comment, subscribe, check out my comic. It's the comic that I've been drawing throughout this whole video. It's free to read on Webtoon. Check it out in the description. Go down there, maybe leave a comment and leave a like. It will really help me out and I appreciate it. Thank you to my Patreon Elijah. I appreciate the support. Thank you everyone else for watching. I'm glad that you stuck around. I will see you guys in my next video. Goodbye!